Laura Douglas. I've asked two of our volunteers to join me today to talk about walking dogs on Saturdays and taking dogs out from the shelter for Doggy Day Out. So I have two of our very valuable volunteers. I have Serena Stroud and her mom, Jennifer Wyatt. Thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
So tell our viewers a little bit about yourself before we start talking about the shelter and the dogs.
We absolutely love animals. And we enjoy walking the dogs.
Now you have some pets of your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of?
She's a Jack Russell mix,
Okay.
high energy.
Jack Russells are such high energy. And
Loves
you told me
to
that.
play.
And what's her name? Or
Apple.
so she's discovered that you walk dogs, obviously, because you come home smelling like the shelter. So what does she do when you get home?
Stays on the couch and pouts and doesn't give us no loves at the door. Don't meet us at the door or anything. So we had to go get her a surprise.
So you take her a surprise every time you come home from the shelter?
Now we do.
But you have to. How old is she?
4.
Okay. So Serena, where do you go to school?
Sylacauga,
And what grade are you in?
10th.
Now, do you know what you want to do when you graduate?
I want to be an investigator.
Okay, well, that'll be very interesting. How'd you decide to do that?
I don't know. I really don't know.
We enrolled her in the dual enrollment for
Okay.
the
Criminal justice.
criminal justice.
Okay. Well, that's great.
It's interesting.
I bet it is. I bet there's a lot of very interesting things you can
I'm
do
proud.
with that. I bet you are. So tell us a little bit about why you decided to start volunteering at the shelter.
I didn't know about it until somebody came up to me one day with some 2-day-old kittens, and they didn't know they had found them in the back of a building, and they didn't want nothing to happen to them. So I was like, okay. My first instinct was taking them. So I took them to the shelter, but they didn't have no nursing mama, so I had to find somebody to take them to. And I found somebody to take them to. And then the next day, it was like a Saturday, and we was at Walmart, and one of the stray dogs came right up to my door. So I went and got him some food, and then went to the shelter, and it's like, if I can get him in my car and rescue him, will y'all take him? But they was having an intake code at that time, and people were walking the dogs, and it was at the end of the time, and that's when I found out about it, and I just love it.
And the two of you started coming the very next week, I believe, because
Yep.
I met you that day you came up to talk about the dog. And you have both been such a valuable part of the dog walking team and just the volunteers in general. So we appreciate everybody that comes out. But what has been your experience with walking the dogs?
Getting to know them and getting to know their own personalities. They're such good dogs. They have their own personalities to themselves. They're happy. They're so happy and full of energy.
And that's one thing that I always want people to understand. When you come walk the dogs, those dogs have been in their kennel for for the whole week. But when they get to come out on Saturdays, they do really show you their personality. So here are some pictures that the two of you actually took on some of your walks, because we have such a great area there around the shelter where we've got you can walk on roads, but then we also have that water coming through there, and so a lot of the dogs love to play in the water and have a lot of shady spots, especially
That one
right
likes
now.
the waterfall drink.
And so what you were mentioning there, it is so important for us to learn their personalities, because we can really
That's
find
right.
homes for these dogs and find rescues to take these dogs in other states. And without volunteers like the two of you, we often don't know their personalities and don't know how they do around other dogs. Now this dog in particular is Aiden. So Aiden is our pet of the week this week. Aiden is about 3 years old, and he is at Meredith Dempsey's right now at For the Love of Dogs. So we've talked about Meredith before. That is such a wonderful chance we have to get dogs out of the shelter for a long period of
Yeah.
time, not just to walk or not just to come out to the
Yeah.
play yard during the week. But he is with Aiden. He's with Meredith, and he just went. So we'll have a tremendous amount of information about him, because he'll get to live with someone, and she does some training, and she has videos of him with other dogs, and so that's going to help us a lot with finding him a home. But what
good.
did you, when you were walking Aiden, do you remember anything in particular about him?
He's easy to walk.
And he's very hard to get out of his kennel, but he is super easy to walk. He is so excited to come out that it's like you're in a rodeo trying to get that that lead around him. But once he gets out, he is just the sweetest, most respectful
Yeah,
dog
he
you've
takes
ever
it a
seen.
walk. Yeah.
So, Serena, you have especially been quite good walking the dogs. They seem to really take to you
Yes.
and enjoy having you around. What would you, if you had other people your age that were going to come out and walk, what would you tell them?
Well, just to do it because like the dogs they have very complex personalities like humans do, and yeah.
They love the attention. They love the affection. Knowing somebody actually cares enough to spend some time with them and get to know them.
Yeah, and we've had walkers tell me that they're surprised that they come and that these dogs are so sweet.
They
that
are.
They assume sometimes before coming that we're going to have dogs there that have some sort of problem. That's why they're at the shelter. But typically,
These dogs are excited and so happy and full of life. You just, it just puts a smile on my face.
Now you have gone that extra mile, so to speak, and you have both come to the shelter during the week to volunteer. So we have our organized dog walking on Saturdays from 11 to 1, but you've gone to the shelter during the week, and you also helped us with the Crazy Days and the adoption day that we had and got Sheldon out. So tell us a little bit about your experience going to the shelter during the week and also taking a dog away from the shelter.
We love Sheldon. Getting to know Sheldon, he's got his own personality. It's very unique. And we actually got attached to him. First time I took him out is when I started getting to know him. And then when I started working with him, and he started coming around because he was shy at first, but he's got a very unique personality, and he just stole my heart.
He is such a special dog, and he has gone through heartworm treatment, so he's done with that. He is ready to be adopted. We were just discussing that there's a possibility he's going to get to go to one of the sister rescues that we work with in the northeastern part of the U.S., but he's still available right now. They haven't said if they're going to take him. So anything that we can do to find him a home in the meantime to help him get out of that shelter would be great. Because he is quite a beautiful, special dog. And we've had him as Pet of the Week before. And I believe we had one of his pictures pop up on the screen while we were showing the dogs there. So now you took him out for basically a doggy day out, but you brought him to Crazy
Day. He loves to ride
Day.
and loves to. He'll beat you out that car before you get out.
And so what was he like when you first put him in the car? Because these dogs likely have never...
He was shy at first. So he took it with Serena, wanted to sit in the back with Serena.
Okay.
And Serena kind of, I guess, calmed him down, and he got closer he got to her. And then when we first stopped and let him out, his shyness done went away.
He was ready to go. Now you were able to walk him a little bit around town, correct? So you found a spot, Central Park or someplace like that you're able to walk him around. And what was that like to have that dog finally
He's a
leave?
little shy, but he is good around people, and he's more of a loner.
Okay. Because you met someone while you were on the walk, and he really liked that person. And
I know, he did. He went right up to him and just stood on his leg wanting him to pet him.
So, again, I mean, what an amazing opportunity for that dog and any
know
dog
it.
that we take out of the shelter. But, I know they love walking around the shelter, but if we had more people that would come and do Doggy Day out, then they get a lot of experiences and a lot of different smells. And then I'm sure they sit there and process those smells all week sitting in their kennels.
And they, they don't forget either.
They don't. And I'm sure he knows you every time you're there when you... Now, you mentioned something that I think is really important for people to know. I mean, even just talking about the dogs, both of you are smiling. And you said it just puts a smile on your face being there, that it's not only great for the dogs when we come and walk them, but the volunteers also have such a great time. And nobody leaves there without a smile on their face. And I know I've had a lot of people worry and say, oh, I'm afraid to go and walk dogs because it'll break my heart to see them there. But there's something about being able to help those dogs and take them out that you realize that
They're helping you too.
You do leave there happy and do leave there very excited.
It's a two-way road.
Absolutely.
They're happy and you're happy, and I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah. Now, when you went to the shelter during the week, one thing that that I want to make sure if you decide to go and help during the week, like Serena and Jen have done, give the shelter a call, and they can make sure that they're prepared for you at whatever time you come by. And you can walk dogs now during the week. You can take them out. It's so hot right now that even just taking them out where they can get some air and find a shady spot to sit and pet them, that a lot of our
Yep.
volunteers do that.
They
So,
just- yes.
so keep that in mind if you do come to walk dogs on Saturday. You don't have to just walk dogs. You can bring dogs out and sit and just love on them and give them an opportunity to have some time to be petted and to be loved. Now, anything else you want to add about your experience with the shelter?
We want to learn more.
Okay.
We want to, yeah.
Well, we certainly appreciate
We love
everything
it.
that both of you have done, and appreciate you bringing Serena out. And Serena can inspire other young people to come out and get active with
They
the
like
shelter.
her more than me.
I'm sure they love you too, Jen. But we'll end with these pictures again, and make sure to come out on Saturday. We'll be there at 11 o'clock, and just come check in at the office at the shelter, and we'll get you signed up to walk dogs, and we'll grab a dog for you in the back, and we'll be able, there's Aiden again. So remember, he's available for adoption in our Pet of the Week. You can come meet Aiden this weekend. And also, if you're interested in, if you don't want to come and walk dogs, but you're interested in doing something for the shelter, we do always need donations. So if you can bring, especially puppy food, we have a mother dog that just had some puppies there at the shelter, and so puppy food is always in need. So you can donate some canned puppy food, dry puppy food, whatever you would like. And we appreciate all the help we can get, and we appreciate the two of you coming on and talking today. And thank you so much for everything that you do for the shelter. The two of you
Thank
are
you
wonderful.
for inviting us.
And we'll have more Daybreak after these messages.